Hey, this is Chris, and it's another episode of The Way I See It at 4 p.m. It's not 4 p.m. It's actually about after 5 o'clock, and I'm sitting in a car right now, and I noticed this sun is going down. I wanted to just take a few minutes to capture this during the day, while it's still light out. Today I wanted to talk about the community and how our community can be with the social media. I feel that social media is going all over the place, and people are getting afraid, and I think it has a lot to do about the changes, and where things are. And we still have to find some way of creating a community. And a community, to me, it means that you have a group of people, they all do something, together. Whether they all get together and play chess together, or they all get together and they play. They all get together and they go to church. They all get together. They go to school, and you have like the board of education or the school district community where everybody's parents and children would go to school. But what I'm thinking about is that we have to be a little bit more extended on what we want, and the way that we can do that is by building a community of people, whether they're physically in front of us or living near us, or they live outside of our outside of our comfort zone. Not our comfort zone. They live outside of our local area where we live. So I feel that the videos like this, and podcasts and Twitter allows us to reach out to people in a way that helps people feel like they are appreciated. And one of the things that I think is important is that we find a way to provide value to many different people. I think that and especially where I grew up, where I see it, it's very hard to get people to kind of do things. If you're not doing exactly what people are doing, then they don't really talk to you. It's really hard to kind of measure you as a friend. Most of the time when I was younger, going to school, having friends, you guys were all in the same grade. You guys probably all play the same games. You guys probably all took similar classes, and then the similarity was all there. But after high school and you go to college, some people don't go to school. Some people go to school but get married. Some people join the army. Everybody does their own thing, and you start to branch away from everything that is familiar to you, and you're forced to have to make this commitment that I will go ahead and I will follow my heart. I will go do the things I want to do, because I know this is how it is. But we don't let people know that, hey, I make the decision and I'm going to, stand out and do things that are not the norm. And I'm looking for support, And I think that maybe I never really asked for that, actually. Like asking for support, like I did with my family. And they support, to where they understand it. But I feel like that's where it brings down to community, is that using social media, you actually, reach out for support on what you're actually interested in. Not where you're going to do the same thing as everybody else is doing. You're not trying to copy other people, and, everybody's in the community. It's more like, there are some things that you can do that some other people can do better, but everybody has to start, doing in order for us to see what we can and cannot do. And the internet allows us to kind of play with that. And that's what I'm trying to get people to do, today around me. I feel like if I want to go ahead and be, like a entrepreneur, for instance, and that really means that I share my skills and provide value for free until I notice that my value is so great that if I stopped, people would complain. And then I can figure out a way to use that as a way to build a business on top of that. Some people do that. Where Pat Flynn, and I say him because I'm actually reading his book right now called Superfans. And Pat Flynn is an entrepreneur. He kind of helps people build marketing campaigns, and he sells courses and stuff like that to help people build their ideas and stuff like that. And he utilizes a lot of grassroots techniques and his own trial and errors to kind of get people to focus on those things. And I feel like that's somebody we all probably need, like a Pat Flynn in our community. That's how I really mean it. Or there's a video where a guy named Black Experience Japan, where there's a person I know, his name is Ronzo, and he basically he interviews different people in the community for who are interested in traveling or living in Asia. But I don't feel that it's enough to have just that one perspective, I really feel like we need to start, getting people who are actually interested in doing the same things, being open and honest about what we want, radically transparent about what you want. Like I'm looking for more of a connection. I want to be able to, build something with somebody, and then even though we go ahead and we build it, and it works, and it doesn't really matter on like what it actually does, but as long as we learn something from it and we can share that with other people. I think people like to see things being done in groups. When you're doing things by yourself, I feel like it doesn't really come off the same way. So I don't know. I know that at work you tend to do things as relative to what you can do with your job, with your bosses and stuff like that, and you don't want to really do too much that's going to cause you to make your boss mad or worse, so you don't want to really do those things. But when it comes down to the community, I want to find people who are like that. It would be nice to know that I have a friend who's a lawyer, and he does he knows how to write up contracts for people, and he's willing to help share that information about writing contracts for that. I would like to know I have one or two friends who have done podcasting for years and years and years, and they know how to take that information and share it with people, like, oh, you should go buy this phone, or you should go buy that phone, or here, I'll actually sell you my old microphone because I don't need it anymore, and I'm gonna get a new one. Or I actually became a running LLC in this state. These are the people that you really need to hear and see, because that is really important. That doesn't really happen in our society where I grew up. If my parents didn't, they're not really in technical, so, and like that means that my other family members aren't really technical. So this whole technical thing is going to put us in like a box where we may not be able to reach out and do great things, because we're all waiting for someone else to lead us there. When I actually feel that, that's why I'm actually taking the initiative right now to start these videos and start talking about it, because I feel like if I don't speak about it every single day, it won't really reach the audience that I'm really looking to get in contact with. I want to be able to go ahead and reach out to a total stranger, and then let them see my videos, and then let them understand what I'm trying to do, and then understand that it's more about building a community first before you can make money on top of it. Like the money comes after we have all the agreements. It's where I basically say is, how come if we took we don't like to take our families. We want to believe like we love our families unconditionally and no matter what. But then we should really focus on our families and our friends like as if they're a business. Some people do that, and it's not really shared very well with other people. I mean, I feel like if we did that, we can get somewhere. I mean, like the things I've learned, I'm actually trying to share too. I feel like it's wrong that I've read about so many things and seen so many different people do certain things and not be able to share it with people and then say, you know, I think that money really slows us down, and I want to find a way to kind of, maybe the first thing I should do is show people how to live with less money, and then how to do more with the time they have each day. And then maybe that'll be a best way of doing it. And then I'll go ahead and do it every single day and get other people to work on it, because it's not about, building a project or building things may take longer than we may think we want it to take. And we need to make sure that the culture that we are trying to, maintain always has the right value, the right principles that we will be able to get through any problems. I don't need it where people get upset and they fall apart. Ray Dalio says this in his principles book about radical transparency, and I really think that we really need to have that. So I know I've been speaking about radical transparency every all day. It feels like the third day I'm doing it, but I think it's important to kind of basically do that. So other than that, that's it for it went over 11 minutes right now, but thanks for listening. If you want to have any questions for this, you want to know what's going on, let me know. If you don't want to hear about that and you want to know about building applications or something, I'm willing to go ahead and create a video about that. But I think that write in the comments on what you want to know, and then I'll try to build that out, because it's very hard to address those things just off the top of my head. It's a big topic. All right, take care. See you next video.